Of all the movies, this is the one that needs the Blu-ray. What's up, everybody? Back today to talk about another film I consider a classic. It's The Hidden from 1987, directed by Jack Shoulder. And it's just a film that's always stuck with me in my mind. It's never been put out on Blu-ray, but it's a movie, I don't know, ever since I've seen it when I was young, it's a movie I saw in the theater. I probably saw it more than once in the theater, and it just always stuck with me. The action sequence at the beginning starts with a bank being robbed and this guy going in his car chasing a Ferrari, and it just drilled itself into my little brain when I was a kid, I guess. Let's talk about The Hidden a little bit. The story is basically an alien parasite that takes over people's bodies, winds up coming to LA, and then there's a cop played by Michael Neary who, he's like the typical hardened LA cop, and then his partner, played by Kyle MacLachlan, turns out to be alien cop that's basically after this guy that's the alien killer. And it's pretty basic, 80s fare. It's the buddy cop movie with some sci-fi, a little bit of horror thrown in, kind of the tone of the Terminator. I wouldn't say quite as serious, but it has the action, it has the sci-fi, and it's got a few laughs. There's a cameo by Danny Trejo, which I was laughing at. Clu Gallagher's got a cameo in this movie. It's just funny watching the young Kyle MacLachlan in this movie. He's, his hair is so thick and black, it's just funny. And overall, the movie is good. It's got the action, like I said, and the thing with the alien in this movie is he's not like a boring alien. He likes to take over bodies, he likes to drive Ferraris and fast cars, and he likes loud, metal, hard rock music. So, and he likes to create a lot of violence. So it's like if you took the best part of the Terminator, where he goes around and just does whatever the hell he wants and beats the crap out of people, that's what you have with this movie, The Hidden. And as the story progresses a little bit, we find out a little bit more about Kyle MacLachlan's character, which isn't much. It's the typical buddy cop type stuff. And then at the end, it ends with action, of course, and has kind of a cheesy, almost plot hole-ish ending. But the movie is a classic 80s film. That's the best way to put it. It's funny. It's got action. It's got the sci-fi element. What's not to like? It's got a little bit of tinge of horror in there because you got aliens jumping from body to body, and the thing can't be killed, you're shooting them a million times, that type of crap. There is some bad stuff. I'm not going to say the whole film's perfect. I hadn't seen it in probably a good 6 or 7 years. There's definitely a few plot holes. They're nothing glaring. There's a scene where you can see the camera rig on the car in the shadows. That's not that big of a deal. Not too much chemistry between Kyle MacLachlan and Michael Neary. I mean, Kyle MacLachlan's supposed to have like this flat affect, and it kind of plays into the movie. Of course, he doesn't know any Earth stuff really. The typical gag with aliens when they're on Earth. And there's a scene where a dog knocks a guy out, and I was like, God, I don't remember that. That scene must have been blacked out from my perfect memory of this movie, because when I watched it this time, I was like, that's pretty cheesy. A dog knocked a guy out. I mean, attack a guy, kill a guy, yeah, but to knock him out, kind of hard. And like I said, it is sprinkled with some goofiness, but it wasn't intended that way, that's for sure. There's a few jokes that were intended to be jokes. When you watch it, it's funny because you compare it to Terminator, and Terminator doesn't look so dated. This film still looks a little more 80s LA dated. And that's not really a bad thing, but I would love to see this movie on Blu-ray. Opening sequence always sticks in my head. And yeah, just a movie that's like mandatory viewing. I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5. In my heart, it's like a 4 or 5, but, to make it kind of even to how I score everything else, I would say it's about a 3.5, because it's definitely better than average compared to most movies you've seen in your life, especially if you like horror, action, sci-fi, stuff like that. Definitely check it out if you're a Kyle MacLachlan fan. Just watch it. It's a cool movie. If you can get your hands on a copy, it's expensive to buy used, but, nefarious means, whatever, watch the movie. Download it, watch it. It's like the perfect B movie, basically. So if you've ever seen The Hidden, which I know some of you have, comment down below. Tell me what you thought. I loved it. I'm not going to say anything else. If you didn't like it, tell me down below, which I can't believe you didn't like it, especially if you're like my age when it came out. Yeah, The Hidden. Check it out. That's all I got to say. Stay away from the sequel. I've only seen that one once, but it's got a 2 out of 10 on IMDb. The original one's got a 7 out of 10, so that speaks kind of for itself, right? All right, guys. See you soon. Bye.